corpsman, and it really is a great evening. I commend you on the occasion. I commend you on choosing this venue. I've never been to an outdoor ball. This is the first after 30 years of service. So I got to tell you, it is truly my honor to be here tonight. I've never had the privilege of being the guest speaker at a ball for the Navy Hospital Corps, and I take this to heart. You know, during this time of the year, you know, hospital corps around the world, active duty, reservists, retired, you know, former corpsmen, they pause to celebrate the birthday of the hospital corps. And in doing so, you reflect on your history, you reflect on those who have gone before, you rededicate yourself to the principles that you believe in about being a corpsman. You know, and what I want you to do now is just think about that. Think about all the occasions throughout the world where people are going to celebrate your birthday here in the, you know, over the course of the next couple of weeks. I mean, there's probably a real big ball in Washington, D.C. You know, the Surgeon General of the Navy is going to have a ball, and you know, senior politicians and dignitaries and senior naval officers will be there. But every naval hospital throughout the world, every clinic will have either a ball or some sort of a celebration. Aboard every naval vessel or unit to which corpsmen are embarked or assigned, in the air, on land or sea, on foreign shores, domestic shores, everywhere where Navy or corpsmen are assigned, they're going to pause and celebrate the birthday in some manner. In every Marine unit and SEAL unit that has corpsmen assigned, they're going to stop and they're going to have a special occasion. I've attended many throughout my career where they recognize dutifully the service of the corpsmen who serve with them. You know, where corpsmen are forward deployed and they can't meet in mass, you can be guaranteed that small groups dispersed, you know, across the battlefield, whether they're in forward operating bases, combat outposts, patrol bases, literally wherever 2 corpsmen or more are gathered. Retired corpsmen, whether they are in hunting lodges, retirement homes, bars, somebody's living room, they're going to be hosting a toast to the birth of their corps. And so to put that in perspective, here you are tonight, doing exactly what you ought to be doing to fulfill that tradition. So I just want to really give you a round of applause for living up to your own tradition. Say, hoorah! Hoorah! And why do you do that? Because that's what corpsmen do. Okay, now, the Navy Hospital Corps has a long and illustrious history, and I realize that the official hospital corps was founded in 1898, you know, hence your 113th birthday. But we all know that you know, as long as there's been a Navy and a Marine Corps, there have been enlisted medical specialists attending to the needs of sailors and Marines. You know, so on thousands of ships and submarines, thousands of hospitals, you know, in clinics, and on thousands of battlefields, corpsmen have distinguished themselves with honor, bravery, sacrifice, and love of God, country, and fellow mankind. However, there is a distinction. For the past 63 years, ever since 1948, there has been a special unifying factor that all corpsmen, regardless of rank, have in common. And although many variations of corpsman emblems were worn before that date, such as the Red Geneva Cross, from 1948 onward, all corpsmen have worn the same emblem, a symbol that defines the very professionalism and character of your medical service. That emblem is, of course, the caduceus, or the caduce, as I've been told, called by corpsmen. Now, corpsmen wore the caduce in Korea, as Captain Bonneman mentioned. And although there was only one Marine division involved in the war, the hospital corps lost 108 killed in action. And disproportionate to their numbers was their heroism. The percentage of casualties among the corpsmen was greater than the proportion of losses among Marines, just as it had been in World War II in the Pacific Campaign. In Korea, all 5 of the Navy Medals of Honor were awarded to Navy corpsmen serving with Marines. Corpsmen wore the caduce in Vietnam, where the most dangerous role of the hospital corpsman was in the field, like all other wars, especially with special units, Marine Reconnaissance, and Navy SEALs. But in the line battalions, the 53 hospital corpsmen served with rifle companies, usually 1 or 2 corpsmen per platoon, patrolling side by side with Marines, risking the same dangers, and rendered the aid that saved thousands of lives. Contributions of hospital corpsmen in Vietnam are noteworty. They cared for over 70,000 Navy and Marine Corps combat casualties and countless military and civilian sick call patients. Again, their valor was great. 3 medals of honor, but so were their sacrifices. Over 5,000 corpsmen were either killed or wounded in action. Now, I came across a letter of that time that was written by an HM2 Chris Pyle before he was assigned to the 1st Marine Division in Vietnam, which I believe this letter captures the true, enduring, and timeless essence of corpsmen. Let me read this. Many people have died to save another. The Navy corpsman has had more honors bestowed on him than any other group. My life has but one meaning: to save or help someone else. So I will be going over to Vietnam. I have my fears and beliefs, but they lay hidden under my emotion. That's why God made me so. Someday I will see before me a wounded Marine. I will think of all kinds of things, but my training has prepared me for this moment. I really doubt if I'll be a hero, but to that Marine, I will be God. I'm hoping that no one will die while I'm helping him. If so, some of myself will die with him. Love for fellow man is great in my book. It's true they make me mad at times, but no matter who he is, if he's wounded in the middle of a rice paddy, you can bet your bottom dollar that whatever God gave me for power, I will try until my life is taken to help save him and any other. 5 months later, on 28 May 1969, HM2 Pyle was killed in action. Now, some of you out here today may have the caduce tattooed on your arm. HM2 Pyle had it tattooed on his heart. Now, corpsmen wore the caduce in Beirut when on the 23rd of October 1983, a suicide truck bomber attacked the headquarters of 1st Battalion, 8th Marines. That truck bomb unleashed a blast that was the largest non-nuclear blast in the history of the world, and killed 241 Americans. The entire battalion aid station, 15 corpsmen, and the battalion surgeon were killed. One of the 3 hospital corpsmen who survived the blast, HM3 Donald Howell, tended to wounded Marines while he himself was trapped in the rubble and wounded. Corpsmen wore the caduce during Desert Storm, where, in anticipation of the largest land campaign since Vietnam, hospital corpsmen around the globe reacted as their ships and stations deployed or prepared to receive casualties. In fact, the very first casualty of Desert Storm was a hospital corpsman. Of the vast number of naval reservists called to active duty, the largest single group activated was hospital corpsmen. Of an inventory of just over 12,000 reserve hospital corpsmen, over 6,500 were recalled to active duty. Corpsmen wore the caduce in OIF. Many of you in the room tonight are in that group, and you probably have still a few corpsmen remaining on the ground over there. And I was deployed myself to Iraq in 2006 and again in 2009, and I saw firsthand the utter selflessness, medical competence, and esprit de corps possessed by the corpsmen, and the sense of brotherhood that it garnered from the Marines with which they served. Our youngest son was a Lance Corporal in Iraq in 2008, and I recall in the very early days of his deployment that his life could at any time be placed in the hands of a hospital corpsman. That thought gave me a calm, confident feeling because I know about corpsmen. That's the way corpsmen make Marines feel, and that's the way corpsmen make Marines' parents feel. Corpsmen are wearing the caduce.